allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Becky, will you please do roll call? Your Clark? Here. Councilmember Bottenberg?
Here.
Councilmember Crone? Here. Councilmember Grove? Councilmember Grove, you're muted. He's trying to drive, so. Councilmember Sinclair?
Here.
Councilmember Pierce is absent.
Agenda item D, open forum, is the time for anyone here tonight to address the council on any subject over which the council has the authority to act or on any item on the agenda other than a public hearing. Does anyone here tonight, either in the council chambers or on Zoom, wish to address the council and voice their comments or questions at this time? If so, please approach the podium, or if participating via Zoom, click on the raise hand icon located in the reactions controls.
There are no hands raised in Zoom.
All right, open forum is closed. Agenda item E is agenda approval. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second. Any discussion? Please vote.
Councilmember Bottenberg?
Yes.
Councilmember Crone?
Yes.
Councilmember Sinclair?
Yes.
Councilmember Grove?
Yes.
Agenda item G1 is a public hearing on an ordinance to impose the franchise fee of 2% of the gross revenues derived by the Mid-American Energy Company from the transmission or distribution of electricity and natural gas to customers within the corporate limits of the city pursuant to Iowa Code Section 364.2. And now to declare this public hearing open. Becky, have we received any written correspondence?
No, none received in the city clerk's office.
Thank you. Brad?
Thank you, Mayor. So a little background on this and the proposed recommendation. March 2025, the Waukee citizens were asked to vote on a public measure to allow for the mayor and city council to consider offers for the sale of the Waukee municipal gas utility. That vote passed overwhelmingly, approximately 91%. In October of 2025, the sale of the gas utility was completed to Mid-American Energy, which is now owner and operator of the gas utility for the city of Waukee. As a part of the revenue that the city was receiving related to the municipal gas utility, approximately $1 million, just shy of that on an annual basis, was being utilized to fund not only the staff within the gas division of the Public Works Department, but also as a portion of other departments within the city that are sort of multi-function departments that are served amongst all of our fees, as well as our property taxes. Those include administration, finance, HR, communications, information services. So with the sale of the gas utility, obviously we have a net loss in the revenue that was necessary in order to balance the budget for those positions. It's not that those positions can necessarily go away. Obviously, those are serving the overall city and not just the gas utility. Additionally, the city council was proactive in recognizing that the city is going to continue to grow and a desire to maintain employment of the 5 employees within the gas division. Those have been reassigned to a new division called Infrastructure Services. In addition to all of that work, obviously, they're part of our snow removal team, which is appropriate for this time of year, represent about 20% of that crew. So that's kind of the background and the history of where we're at and why there's a need for the proposed franchise fee. Chapter 364 of the Iowa State Code allows or provides specific rules for the approval and management of franchise fees within city limits. Franchises within city limits, as well as giving the ability for the city to establish a franchise fee. The code references that a fee can be established up to a maximum of 5%, which can be assessed on the city based on gross revenues of the gas utility, as well as the electric utility sale of the franchisee within the city. And those that are collected in excess of the amounts necessary to support those utilities can be used for any lawful use authorized by law and based upon a revenue purpose statement, which the City Council has approved a revenue purpose statement for the use of this this fee if approved. The revenue purpose statement was approved on November 17th. I won't read through this list, but it includes all of the allowable uses towards this fee, everything from public infrastructure, public safety, as well as property tax relief, amongst others. This is a listing of the Des Moines metro area. You can see here, majority of cities within the Des Moines metro do have some sort of franchise fee. There are actually only 4 exceptions, including Waukee today, Bondurant, Grimes, as well as Urbandale. Those do range, as you can see here, from the 1% all the way up to 5% in several cities throughout the Des Moines metro. Staff is recommending consideration of a 2% franchise fee, not going up to the 5%, but the 2% franchise fee to replace the revenues to support the functions as previously described. The net increase, however, to Waukee electric and gas customers will actually be 1% because today 1% sales tax is collected on each utility bill. You cannot collect both a sales tax as well as a franchise fee. So if approved, the franchise fee would replace the 1% sales tax. So the net increase in terms to the customer is actually 1%. One of the reasons why cities have gone towards a franchise fee in lieu of the sales tax as it pertains to these utilities is that sales tax is collected at the county level and then distributed based upon a formula that's established by the state. And it's based upon a combination that includes population, I believe, from 1984. And with that being said, obviously, City of Waukee has changed a lot since 1984. That formula today for sales tax collected at Dallas County level and generated with these the 1% sales fee or sales tax on the electric and gas utilities, we actually only see just shy of 19%, 18.84% of that 1% sales tax. So with the 2% franchise fee, we would see 100% of that total income. What's this mean to the customer? I've done this, apologize, the red's a little dark here, but I will read this. I've done this on the basis of an average residential customer. We've calculated what the average usage is from both the gas utility as well as the electric utility. And a couple of things to keep in mind. First of all, the average cost of the gas utility under the Waukee municipal gas on an annual basis was just over $1,000 on average. Based upon the rates that we collected as well as the projections that were provided as a part of the sale, we anticipate that those overall rates for the consumption of gas, those costs are going to be around $800 with a savings approximately of $225. In terms of the proposed 2% franchise fee, the net increase on the gas side of things to the average residential customer would be $6. And on the electric franchise, it would be $10. So an overall annual increase of about $16 to the average residential customer's bill, which you would see then still a net savings between the Waukee Municipal Gas Utility, Mid-American Gas, and then the increase with the franchise fee of about $210. And then finally, we did look in terms of alternative consideration. If we were have to look to raise revenue from a property tax perspective, we did calculate that in order to generate the approximately $1 million that would be necessary to replace the revenue being lost at the municipal gas utility, it would increase the levy rate 0.488116. And on a $400,000 home, the impact would be approximately $93 a year. So we're able to spread that out. Obviously, it's based upon consumption and not individual property or value. And that's why you're seeing the difference between of looking at it from a levy increase versus a franchise fee. With that being said, I'd be happy to answer any questions This is the public hearing to consider a 2% franchise fee.
Thank you, Brad. And now declare this public hearing open. Does anyone here tonight, either in the council chambers or on Zoom, wish to address the council and voice their comments or questions on this public hearing item? If so, please approach the podium or raise your hand, or if participating via Zoom, click on the raise hand icon located in the reactions controls. Come on up. As a reminder, you do need to identify yourself by name and address before you begin your comments.
Council members. My name is Justin Richardson. I live at 815 Spruce Street here in Waukee. I'm not a public speaker, so please excuse me, but I just found out about this meeting through a Facebook post of the print article. I don't know who reads paper anymore, so I guess I'm not surprised nobody else came to speak on this, but quite frankly, we all voted to move the utilities because it all costs too much. So if there's a way to make this equate to whatever the tax is, I'm fine with that, but not another dime. Not another dime. The taxes are so high at this stage, not because we've raised taxes, and I get that, but because property values have spiked so horrifically. And sure, I own a home, so that's an investment, but I don't intend to sell. I want to live here. I can't live here if the tax burdens continue to go up. So I'm urging the council, please find a way, retain the jobs. I know we need them, but I pay a lot in taxes. Find another way. Get the balance to be equal to what it is and find another way. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. As a statement, I do want to comment that we do publish agendas for the meeting in a number of ways. By law, we're required to put them in paper. Hopefully we can get that changed at the next legislative session. We'd like to do more digitally, but by state code, we're actually required to put them in paper. Any other comments?
There are no hands raised in Zoom.
All right. Does council have any questions at this time?
I appreciate the way Brad broke that down. That was, yeah, that was fifth grade level, and sometimes
Well, we've discussed it at several work session meetings,
Yeah,
and so
yeah.
I appreciate the recap for sure. All right, I now declare this public hearing closed. Agenda item H1, consideration of approval of an ordinance imposing a franchise fee of 2% of the gross revenues derived by a Mid-American Energy Company from the transmission or distribution of electricity and natural gas to customers within the corporate limits of the city pursuant to Iowa Code Section 364.2. This is an introduction and a first reading.
introduce the ordinance and move to approve the first reading in title only.
Second.
Thank you. Anything further, Brad?
Nothing further to add. The recommendation is a 2% franchise fee.
In lieu of property tax increase. All right, with that, any other comments or questions from council?
I just want to comment that we do try to explore, and Brad puts a lot of time into trying to explore other options. And so I appreciate that. And I hope everyone understands that we do.
One comment that I do want to make regarding taxes is that while that is not the discussion for tonight, we do start our budget discussions in January, and we welcome anybody to show up to every single one of those meetings and have their comments or concerns heard at all of the budget concerns and budget meetings. I can no longer talk. It's been a long Monday. All right. With that, I will call for a vote.
Councilmember Crone,
Yes.
Councilmember Battenberg,
Yes.
Councilmember Grove,
Yes.
Councilmember Sinclair,
Yes.
Councilmember Pierce,
Yes.
Item H1, consent agenda. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second.
That's I1, isn't it? Sorry about that. Any discussion?
Mm-mm.
Please vote.
Councilmember Sinclair,
Yes.
Councilmember Crone,
Yes.
Councilmember Grove,
Yes.
Councilmember Battenberg,
Yes.
Councilmember Pierce.
yes,
Agenda item H2, consideration of approval of an ordinance to amend Chapter 112 cable television franchise to conform with Iowa Code 477A 2025. This is an introduction, first, second, third, and final reading.
I introduce the ordinance, move to approve the first reading of the ordinance in title only, waive the second and third reading, and place it on final passage.
Second.
Becky?
This is actually a housekeeping matter. We currently have on the books Chapter 112, which is cable television franchise. However, that franchise expired in 2017, but the language is still on the books. So the proposed ordinance would actually not repeal that section in its entirety, but update it to reflect that there is a state cable television franchise that supersedes anything that we would have had anyway. And it also maintains a franchise fee that was already in place for cable television. So city staff recommends approval of all three readings.
Thank you. Any questions? Please vote.
Councilmember Crone,
Yes.
Councilmember Grove,
Yes.
Councilmember Battenberg,
Yes.
Councilmember Sinclair,
Yes.
Councilmember Pierce.
yes,
Item I3, consideration of approval of an ordinance to amend Chapter 169 zoning ordinance, City of Waukee, Iowa, by rezoning certain property from A1 to C1A, a parcel to be known as 1926 Waukee Quickstar. This is the second reading.
Move to approve the second reading of the ordinance in title only.
Second.
Andy?
Hello, Mayor Clark and council members. Before you tonight is the second consideration for the rezoning for 1926 Quick Star. It's approximately 8.36 acres located at the northwest corner of Northwest 10th Street and Northwest Douglas Parkway. There's approximately about a 9,000 square foot Quick Star store planned on the south end of the site. And then the remaining portion of the property would be intended for future commercial development. Staff is recommending approval of the second consideration. I'm happy to take any questions.
Thank you. Are there any questions? Please vote.
Councilmember Grove,
Yes.
Councilmember Crone,
Yes.
Councilmember Sinclair,
Yes.
Councilmember Battenberg,
Yes.
Councilmember Pierce.
yes,
Item I4, consideration of approval of a resolution approving site plan for the pitch Phase 2 at 705 and Northwest 2nd Street. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Melissa?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. The owner and applicant is Pitch LLC. The property is located south of Northwest Douglas Parkway and east of Northwest 2nd Street. It contains 3.71 acres in area. It's outlined in red on the screen. The property is zone R-3 multifamily residential district. The subject property was originally platted as Lot 1 of the Pitch Plat 1 in 2022. The first phase of the pitch included 3 apartment buildings and 1 clubhouse building. I actually have it up here. So on the left-hand side was the original site plan that was approved in 2022. With that, only the clubhouse and 2 of the apartment buildings were built. The 2 apartment buildings on the south side of the site. The one on the north side never actually got built. So now they are coming back for this phase 2, which includes that north side and a revised plan for that portion of the area. Phase 2 includes, let me go back here. So phase 2 includes a total number of 42 units with 4 buildings total. Each building is 2 stories and between 24 and 27 feet in height. The footprints of each building are between approximately 10,000 square feet and 12,000 square feet. All of the buildings include attached garages. 2 accesses will be provided into the site from Northwest Douglas Parkway along the north side. 10-foot wide trail exists along the south side of Northwest Douglas Parkway, and then they will be providing a pedestrian connection into the site from that trail. Parking and landscaping requirements are being met. All public utilities are already provided to the site. Stormwater detention is provided with the basin, which is located kind of between the 2 phases, just south of this one. The owner of the property is responsible for the ownership and maintenance of the detention areas, and then also within the site, the private utilities. Parkland dedication requirements were previously satisfied. within the Prairie Rose development, which is located just to the east. Let me go to the building elevations. The building elevations are very similar to the materials that they used for phase one. I know it's kind of hard to see up there, but the materials include fiber cement siding, stone, and then asphalt shingles for the roof. And I can kind of go through here. And then these last two are the ones on the north side of the site. Staff is recommending approval of the site plan, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Are there any questions? Okay, please vote.
Councilmember Sinclair,
Yes.
Councilmember Crone,
Yes.
Councilmember Battenberg,
Yes.
Councilmember Grove,
Yes.
Councilmember Pierce,
Yes.
Agenda item I5, consideration of approval of a resolution approving and authorizing execution and delivery of third amended and restated agreement for the Des Moines Metropolitan Wastewater Reclamation Authority, the WRA, consenting to the issuance of bonds by the board of the WRA for the purpose of constructing improvements under the terms of said agreement and related matters. Can I get a motion?
Move to approve.
second.
Thank you, Mayor. I don't get the opportunity to present much anymore, so you get two presentations tonight. Just a little bit of background and history relative to the WRA. The City of Waukee has actually been a part of the WRA since 2005. However, regionalization from a wastewater treatment perspective has been ongoing in the Des Moines Metro since the early 1920s. The current form of the WRA was actually founded in 2004. There are a total of 18 members within the operation of the WRA. We are actually one of the expansion communities, as I had mentioned. We joined slightly after in 2005, eventually with Cumming and Polk City, and the most recent one being Grimes. It is a separate entity from all of the other cities. All the cities make up, if you will, the WRA, but it is governed by a management board, of which I am currently the representative of the WRA board. The WRA does own a significant amount of infrastructure, including the treatment facilities located in the city of Des Moines, as well as the core conveyance system. And the WRA finances their projects. They use debt, SRF funding, and then that is distributed based upon the flow within those communities, or if you will, those projects that are directly correlated to those communities are paid for by those communities. I won't go through all this, but this is just kind of a bit of a success story in terms of what the WRA has accomplished, over $500 million in capital projects. They do have biogas sales, which is a revenue generator, if you will. That was established in 2020. There are opportunities for future revenue. They're in the final design phase to remove phosphorus during treatment phase, which will help the overall system and then provide another revenue source, as well as obviously efficiencies when you're looking at more of a regional system as opposed to individual treatment facilities. I think the reason why we're part of WRA is because of the cost, particularly with the city of Waukee over the last 20 years and the amount of growth, the cost it would have taken to expand or create a new treatment facility just to serve Waukee would have been tremendously more expensive than being a part of the WRA. The request before you tonight is a third amendment to the operating agreement, the 2080/F agreement for the WRA and the 18 entities that make up the WRA for several reasons. First of all, the overall debt limit, although they've been successful in the creation of several projects, they do need to increase the overall debt limit from the previous amendment, which set at 675, increasing it to 975 million, based upon the projected capital improvement plans over the next 20 years, particularly investment in the plant itself that are scheduled. So that's one of the main components of the amendment, third amendment. On the governance side of things, currently the board is established based upon one representative per 25,000 residents, which in total could equate to a 32-member board. That's a bit large for a board to make decisions upon. This proposed amendment would revise the membership based upon 65,000 residents for one board member with a maximum of 3. So obviously the city of Des Moines, they would have 3 representatives. West Des Moines and Ankeny would each have 2, and then the other member agencies would have 1. Someday I would expect that we'll get to 2 members here in the near future. The other components of the governance relates to weighted voting. Currently, the votes are based upon population. The proposed amendment would allow for weighted voting based upon flow. So those communities that are having larger flow based upon the type of development they have would carry a larger weight in some of those weighted votes as opposed to just population, because those aren't necessarily equal. A finance committee, which I am also a part of, would become a standing committee under the terms of this amendment to the 2080. And just a couple of minor changes. There would be creation of associate communities. There's currently, there isn't an establishment of that. There is Warren County today that is considered really an associate community. They don't have any voting rights. This sort of identifies, if you will, for others that are coming in eventually to the WRA system. And then one of my last slides is really creating some separation with the WRA director. City of Des Moines is the operating contractor for the WRA, meaning the employees of the WRA are employees of the City of Des Moines. Per the amendment for the 2080, it would create some separation of the director, which today is actually reports to the Public Works Director. Under this agreement, the WRA director would report directly to the city manager for the City of Des Moines, as also recognizes some conflict resolutions as it pertains to sort of that hierarchy, as well as the potential for a deputy director that's contemplated within the agreement. Generally speaking, the amended 2080, it preserves the basic financial structure. There's been 21 years of experience, so I think they've perfected it, if you will. These are just some minor tweaks and changes that, quite honestly, they've been working on for the last 4 years. One thing that I think is of value, particularly the city of Waukee, is they have included additional identification relative to special projects. And when the WRA itself pays for those projects, or a percentage of versus those communities themselves. So us being a growing community, there's the potential where that cost is going to be borne more by us. The amended language would create some certainty that if multiple communities are benefited by that infrastructure improvement, that a portion of that would be paid for by the entire system and not just those specific communities. The WRA board did approve the form of the agreement at their meeting here in November. They are asking for all 18 agencies within the WRA to request approval of their councils here in December, with the intent that this would be ratified and would be up and running January 1 of 2026. Staff would recommend approval of the third amendment to the 2080 for the WRA. Happy to answer your questions.
Thank you. Are there any questions? Okay. Please vote.
Councilmember Grove,
Yes.
Councilmember Sinclair,
Yes.
Councilmember Crone,
Yes.
Councilmember Bottenberg,
Yes.
Councilmember Pierce.
Yes.
All right, agenda item J, reports. Brad?
Just a reminder that this Friday is Waukee, the annual Waukee Winterfest. So bundle up and come on out to the Triangle.
Bundle up is right. Steve?
No report.
Chris?
I just want to thank the city workers for the great job they did this weekend and all the hours that were put in.
And unfortunately, it looks like snow for
I
a
know.
lot this week, so that extends into this week as well, so thank you. Charlie?
No report.
Rob?
Thanks for cleaning my street and not blocking my driveway in. Love that.
Yeah, I don't know how they did it this time. They didn't block mine either.
Well, he's got that council member sign.
Well, yeah. Mine got blocked, so apparently I'm missing my sign. No report other than that.
All right, with that, I will take a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, have a good week, everybody.